Good morning, students. Welcome back to this week's online class. A few weeks back, we have studied a topic in English grammar called the tenses. And we have understood that tenses are of three types: the past, the present, and the future. And we have covered by now the two tenses, that is, the past and the present. This week we shall move on to the third type of tense, and that is the future tense. Like the other two tenses, the past and the present, the future tense also has four subdivisions. Let's look at the types of tenses, future tense, one by one. The first one is simple future tense. The simple future tense will have a subject and will and the verb. Now, the use of will or shall shows future time. But the use of shall is only along with the first person and the second person, singular or plural. And they express different tone, different attitudes, etc. That we shall see later. Let's look at one of the examples of simple future tense. I will eat my lunch whenever I feel like. So it shows future time. The second type is the continuous future tense. In the continuous future tense, we will have a subject plus will plus be the auxiliary plus the present participle, that is verb plus ing. Example, I will be eating. The third type is the future perfect tense. In the perfect tense, we will have subject plus will plus have plus past participle of the verb. Look at the example, I will have eaten if I had enough time. I will have eaten. Let's move on to the next one, the fourth type, a perfect continuous tense, future perfect continuous tense. In the future perfect continuous tense, we will have a subject plus will plus have plus been plus verb in the ing form, that is the present participle. And the example for it is, I will have been eating my lunch. I will have been eating. So you have seen the four subdivisions of future tense. Like the other two, past and the present, future also has a subdivision of four types. But the difference over here is, one is the use of will and shall together. Together in the sense, at the same time it can be used, but we need to be careful that it can be used only with first person and the second person, never with the third person, singular or plural. The second thing that you need to note over here is that the use of has, even if the subject is third person singular, the use of has is never seen in future tense. That is, in future perfect or future perfect continuous, the use of has is not there. Whether it is first person, second person or third person, the usage of the auxiliary in future perfect and future perfect continuous will be only have. I hope the subdivisions of future tense is clear to you. Study it very well. We shall move on to the textual exercises and see how future time is shown in different ways. The future time can be expressed in many ways, depending upon the action or the event taking place. Now let's look at the textual exercise. Will and going to can also be used to express or to indicate future time. Now let's see, when do we use will or going to? It can be used to make a prediction. For example, I am sure you will find it relaxing. Making a prediction. Will or going to. Will can be used to show intention. I will finish this work in time. My intention, my purpose. Thirdly, it can be used to express or to make an offer or a promise. Example, we will definitely be there tomorrow. So it's a promise actually. More than a offer, it's a promise. We will be definitely there tomorrow. The future time also can also express, or it can be used in order to instruct someone or to order someone. For example, you will stay at home and do your homework. It's an order, it's an instruction given. The future time or will is used to make a request. Will you do me a favor? When you make a request, one thing is clear here, that most of the time will is used as a in order to make a request, and it's in the form of an interrogative sentence, or it's a question. The use of will can also be used for inviting someone. Will you join us for lunch? Again, it's a kind of request, but it is inviting someone, request, kindly requesting. Then it can also be used, it can be replaced, will can be replaced by using the words going to, which shows future time. Again, it shows future time. For example, to talk about firm plans or intentions. I am going to join a new school next year. So, I'm talking about a firm plan or my intention, going to. Otherwise, we could have said it as will to show, with the will to show it in the future time. That is, I'll be joining a new school next year. I could have said, but going to is also an indication for future time. Next, where we can use this for prediction, to make a prediction. I think it's going to be a long, dry summer. It's a prediction. We have seen use of will also to make a prediction. That is, I am sure you will be finding it relaxing. You will find it relaxing. So that is also prediction. This is also prediction, but use of one is will and the other one is going to. I think it's going to be a dry summer next year, and the other prediction is will, and I'm sure you will find it relaxing. I hope you have understood the usage of will or going to indicate future time. Now let's look at the use of shall in detail. We shall use shall only with the first person I or we. I singular, we plural. Or in some cases with the second person you. As singular or plural it can be. Singular and plural of second person is you. But never with the third person he, she, it or they. Third person singular he, she, it, and the plural they. So you see, shall is used only with the first person singular and plural, and sometimes with the second person, but never with the third person singular or plural. For example, I shall bring Neeta with me. We shall be there by 5 p.m. We shall be there by 5 p.m. So these are all use of I and we singular and plural first person, and shall is used along with this, and it shows future time. Now we can also use shall to show or indicate or express a decision or a determination. Decision or a determination. We shall not try and discourage me. You shall not try and discourage me from doing this. You shall not try and discourage me. So here it is second person, showing a decision or determination. Shall can also be used to make a promise. I shall make sure that it is done. That means it will not be done today, it will be done in future, but a promise that it will be done in the future time. Shall can also be used to offer help. Shall I help you with that? Now, why shall is used? Because I is a pronoun, first person singular, used along with the question interrogative sentence. So, shall I help you with that? Shall can also be used to make a suggestion. Shall we book a taxi? Again, it's a question. It's an interrogative sentence. See, when it is requesting or asking for a help or a suggestion, it becomes an interrogative sentence, a question. Now, shall can also be used in order to order someone. You shall listen to him. It's an order, it's an instruction. Will was also there, but you are showing future time and you are using either first person or you are using the second person, and it's a humble request type of sentence. You shall listen to him, though it's a strict order, but it is used or it is asked in a, the order is made in a very humble way, simple, requesting, kind manner. So I hope you have understood the use of shall. Shall is along with the first person singular or plural, sometimes along with the second person also, but never with the third person singular or plural. Hope you have understood the use of shall also. Now let's look at the form of verb be plus to. A form of the verb be with to is used to indicate future time. We can use it to show obligation. See the example. You are to bring the certificates with you. So it's an obligation when you go for an interview or for an admission. You are supposed to bring the certificates with you. So you are to. Are is be and to is used along with. It shows future time. Secondly, be plus to can be used to show that an action is about to take place immediately. Often the word about is used in such cases. They are about to start from home. They are to start from home. If you say, it's okay, incorrect, but they are about to start from home, that would be better. Be plus verb also can be used to talk about official plans and future arrangements. For example, the minister is to open the new hospital next Saturday. So is to is the be auxiliary plus to. The first one was are plus 2, the second one was are plus 2, but about is used along with it to show that it is showing an immediate, the action is going to take place immediately. So I hope you have understood the use of form of a verb be, that is auxiliary verb be plus the infinitive to. Now let's look at some of the models that can be used also to show or to express future time. Models like may, might and could. Let's see, we can use the models may, might and could to indicate uncertain plans in the future. Not sure. The plans in the future, be plus 2 was actually showing that plans in future that is going to take place surely. But may, might and could is used to show future time, but the plans may be or may not be take place in the future. Look at the example. I may try it soon. I may, but sometimes after 10 days I may feel that I don't have to. So I may leave it also. So I may try it soon. There is uncertainty in it, not sure. She might come over tomorrow. There's not surety that whether she will come tomorrow or not. Same way, the third example, we could check it out sometimes this week. We could check it out sometimes this week. So not sure this week which day, but we may do it. So that's what. So may, might and could usage of these models in the sentence shows future time. I hope you understood the usage of be plus 2 and the usage of models may, might, and could in sentences to indicate future time. And the last thing to note about future time is the use of simple present tense and present continuous tense as future tense. I mean, it expresses future time. We shall use the simple present tense for actions that are arranged or scheduled. Actions that are arranged or scheduled in future. We have a text. Sorry, we have a test next Friday. So it is already arranged for next Friday, future time. The school reopens next month. So again, it's arranged or scheduled next month. So simple reopens, school reopens is simple present tense and it indicates future time. Now the present continuous tense also can be used to express future time. Sometimes when it is, we use the present continuous tense for action that are planned. Again, it is planned to do in the future. She is visiting her cousin tomorrow. They are traveling to Delhi next month. So these are all actions planned but taking place in future later on. So you see, the use of simple present tense as well as the present continuous tense can also express future time. I hope you have understood future tense very well. With this, we conclude future time and the entire tenses we have learned in the last 2 weeks and this week together. The tense is completed. So until we meet again, you can continue to do the exercises of this lesson, the future time. And until we meet again then in the next class with another lesson, another video, stay tuned, stay home, and stay safe. Thank you.